Hi everyone, here is your weekly update. This week we are going over week 10, the last week of our servant leadership unit. So let's take a look at what we have happening this week. This week we call it Developing Servant Leadership. So far in this unit, we've explored Greenleaf's philosophy on servant leadership. We've looked at how researchers have tried to measure this leadership style. We've looked at leaders in the public eye and evaluated their servant leadership credentials in your Servant Leader League presentations. And we've explored how servant leadership could be used and understood in a variety of different contexts based on your infographics of this week. So for this last week, what you're going to do is have an opportunity to apply servant leadership as a group in a creative assignment. And then individually, you're going to reflect on your own personal experiences and the content that you've read within this unit. Some important notes and reminders. This week, the teaching team and I will be sending you back your peer evaluations. It will be anonymous, but you're going to be getting comments from your group members from that assessment that you all took a few weeks ago. So what I'd like you to do with this feedback, when you first receive the feedback, read through it once and let it sink in. Feedback can feel deeply personal because we understand the situation from a different perspective than maybe our group members do. So for example, maybe something's been going on personally in your life and you haven't been able to check in as diligently. Maybe your work schedule has gotten really hectic because you've had some turnover, or your boss is just putting more on you right now in terms of responsibilities. Maybe you've gotten really swamped in another course that you're taking that has a really heavy load. Whatever the case might be, maybe your group members don't understand that. They don't know all the ins and outs of what's going on in your personal life. So you might be getting feedback from them that's saying they wish you'd communicate more, or that you'd be more of a presence, because they don't understand those things that have been going on. So don't take that feedback personal. Just understand that they have a different perspective of it. So get on the balcony, take some time to remove yourself from the situation and look at it through the eyes of other people. After 24 hours have passed, thoughtfully consider what you could do to address some of the feedback that your peer reviewers gave you. Think about if you need to communicate up front a little bit more. Maybe you need a better means of communication. Maybe you need to try to do a weekly face-to-face video conference. Set them up for 10 minutes. They don't need to be that long. Maybe you need a group text. Maybe you need to get together with myself or members of the teaching team to help you with a face-to-face meeting and help moderate that. Whatever the case might be creative. Maybe you all want to meet at the mill over coffee and get to know each other a little bit better to build team trust. Spend the remainder of the semester strategically working on improving your contributions to your group as both a team member and an assignment leader. And if you'd like some time to talk through potential strategies, I, of course, would be more than happy to meet with you. You'll be happy to know that readings for this week are optional. You're not being quizzed over these readings. If you're really interested in the servant leadership style, I would strongly recommend these to you to get a little bit more understanding on how authors have looked at servant leadership. What you have due for this week is only 2 assignments. The first one is your quiz, if you will. This is a replacement quiz. So rather than taking a reading comprehension quiz, what I'm asking you to do is think personally and reflect on how certain things in this unit have resonated with you personally. And you'll do that by just answering some questions on a Word document. And then the last thing you have due is Sunday. You have a group assignment due called the Value of a Dollar presentation, and I'll walk you through that as well. So quickly going into our Canvas site and clicking on our assignments. Some of you have started working ahead a little bit early, and there was originally an individual assessment you were supposed to do for your individual assignment this week. After talking with a former instructor who taught the class, they also had issues with this survey, and I realized I was not going to have time to recreate the whole survey in the Qualtrics system in order for you all to have enough time to take it. So I just went ahead and eliminated the individual assignment this week. So I guess you could say you're welcome. So here's what we call a replacement quiz, since it's not a reading comprehension quiz. Essentially, what I want you to do is to open up a Word document and answer the following questions below. Answers should require critical thinking and analysis, and they should be between at least 3 to 5 sentences long, and again, should have logical and rational arguments. So the questions are, name one concept or idea from this unit that resonated with you the most. Based on the readings, do you think it's possible to develop as a servant leader? I've told you I really think servant leadership is a lifelong legacy. It's something that we make a conscious choice to do and strive to. So in thinking about some of the characteristics that you read in terms of Greenleaf and the Spears article, we make a conscious commitment to have empathy, to build trustworthiness, to build community and help others grow, to use persuasion in a way that doesn't use authority or force. So I think in my opinion, when we become servant leaders, it really is the ability to look back on our life and our legacy as leaders to see if we followed the path of what servant leadership should look like. So essentially, you're going to answer these 5 questions, and then you'll simply submit this in a Word document via Canvas. So a little personal reflection there in replacement of a reading comprehension quiz. And then here is your group assignment that's due by Sunday at 11:59 p.m. This is one of my favorite assignments that we do in the face-to-face class as well. So for this assignment, you need to apply servant leadership concepts in order to determine the best thing that your group could do with $1. You can use other resources that you have access to, but you cannot use more than $1 to bring your plan to life. So pretend that I'm giving each of your groups $1. Value can be measured in both monetary and non-monetary means. Your group should decide to use a certain framework, so choose from one of the 3. You're either going to apply Spears' characteristics, Zedea's characteristics, or Leiden et al.'s characteristics. So whichever one of these different characteristics speaks to you most in terms of what it means to be a servant leader, follow that as your conceptual framework for using the value of $1 in a servant leadership way. Again, a lot of these characteristics overlap with one another, but maybe you prefer one list over another. So first of all, brainstorm what you could do hypothetically. Then address each of the components in the model chosen. So again, reference the readings from week 7 and 8. You need to present your plan and ideas in a non-narrated Google Doc presentation. So again, you don't have to have a voiceover. PowerPoint. The PowerPoint needs to be submitted by pasting the shareable URL link into the comment box of the assignment link on Canvas. And so if you click here, we actually have an example for you of what this looks like. And so this maybe should help your groups in preparing. I've had groups come up with some really creative and fun things for this. So definitely, sky's the limit with this. So simple engineering and a greater solution. Our $1 idea is actually 68 cents. There are 2 of these magnifying glass that cost 50 cents to make a paper centrifuge that costs 18 cents to make, and they're used to separate blood into its components so that it can be checked for malaria. These devices are aimed to be used by the monetary poorest people on earth and can save countless lives. So you can kind of look through this and think about, in essence, when they do this project, how then they want the project to spread. And so then what they did is they applied this idea to Leiden's article and the different dimensions that they have. So they talk about how this would apply to emotional healing, creating value for the community, how it applies to conceptual skills, empowering, helping growth, putting others first, behaving ethically, relationships, and servanthood. And then here's their sources. So do some research, see what creative things you can find out there, and definitely reach out to myself or the teaching team if you have any questions in regards to this assignment. So again, just a quick recap. This is the last week of servant leadership. Next week, we'll be moving into the transformational unit. So all you have to do this week is do your replacement quiz. So it's more of a personal reflection on how this unit spoke to you. And then 2, the value of $1 that your group will put together by Sunday. Hope you all have a great week, and I look forward to talking with you soon.